Alright y'all, today we're here with my one owner 1985 Chevrolet K20. It's factory AC four-wheel drive. It's got a 350 and a 3-speed automatic. Four-wheel drive on the floor. I bought this vehicle without any rims and tires. So right now we've got some trailer tires on here that we're going to get swapped out, at least the steer tires. And not too bad of a rig. Got some Mondo here and there. We're going to get it cranked up today. Make sure she has oil pressure. Make sure she's cooling. And hitting all the gears. First, 2/3. And I'll get you up here. We'll do a walk around. Not too bad of a rig. I picked this up 3 towns over for $1,100. We're going to try and get this rig running for no more than $4,000 all in it. So let's do a quick walk around and then we'll jump right in. Alright, so these are the tires I have for it. I only have 2. Came off of my 1967 Highboy, so they should fit good on here. They're about a 32.5. They got some decent tread on them, but they're running about 20%. So we'll get some new tires here in the future. Get these out of the way. All right, so into the truck. A lot of the trim pieces we've got in the back, but floorboards are good. Missing some things here and there. Dash is complete. Crack dash up top. And we got CB. So there was a CB in here at one point. Passenger seat floorboard looks a little worse than driver's side. Seat needs some help. All right, got a little bit of Bondo here. So it did come with an extra fuel tank, which is about a quarter of what I paid for it anyway, with the sender. So we'll eventually get these in here. Old tank was already pulled. Still got the passenger tank up underneath the bed. Inside of the bed's real solid. No holes. Tailgate's mint. Walk over the passenger side here. All right. You can see here, got a little bit of rust in the quarters and the rocker. And it looks like it's already had some floor work done over here. I haven't gotten under yet, so I don't know the extent of all that. Let's see what we got in the glove box. Haven't really looked through this rig at all yet. I've been storing it at a buddy's house for about a year. Well, I've been fixing up my 67 Highboy. Video of that to come here pretty soon. I've got maybe 3 or 4 things left on it, a day's worth of work, and she'll be cruising. And a video will be posted here soon of that. But the passenger side bed and body cab, front fender is a little bit more rough than the driver's side. But all in all, for the price I paid, you can't really argue. Got a lot more Bondo work on this side. I don't know, I've been thinking about flatbedding this truck. But why don't y'all throw down in the comments what you think I should do? Lift, level, keep it stock. Just put some nice mud terrain tires on it, all terrain, streets. All right. Locking hubs up front. Now let's dive in under the hood. So I've already been out here yesterday, I put a carburetor I had in the garage on this 350, and this is an Edelbrock 1407. I ran an electric fuel pump. This isn't permanent, obviously, and then we got a 3-gallon jug down here, and this should be enough to get her cranked. Make sure that we got oil pressure, no major leaks. We'll have to test the brakes at some point if we want to see if she'll go through all the gears. All right, and then I'll get on the ground here and we'll take a look underneath her real quick. Steering box is leaking, and we'll see how rough underneath she is. The frame rails themselves look fairly good. For a Florida truck, the rust is not horrible. Up underneath, it's looking a little bit worse than I thought. E-brake cables are cut for the rear. That is also disconnected in the cab. Looks like our transmission or rear main may have a leak. Oil filter is seeping oil, although that oil does not look too bad. I don't know if that's a fresh leak, if it was overfilled, or if maybe it filled up with water while it's been sitting here. That's something we're gonna have to definitely check out. Front axle, everything looks to be there. Definitely rusty. We'll have to check out those lines, the soft lines. Sometimes they swell and they won't release the caliper piston. It's got disc brake up front, drum in the back, real big drums in the back. And we do have exhaust. Dumps down right before the rear axle. Looks like we've got some more rust on the core cross member there. Nothing too serious. Transfer case looks real clean. And we got our skid plate. All right, well, let's jump up top and I'll put this on time lapse and we'll get everything hooked up. I'll throw a battery in her and we'll see if she'll crank off. All right, back under the hood. Definitely have coolant leaking from somewhere. We'll have to address that once we get it running. Hopefully it's not too bad. We can get the thermostat to open. Get this thing heat cycled, and it's been sitting so long. It's probably been sitting anywhere from 10 to 15 years. I bought it from the son of the original owner. Oil. Alright. Oil's good. Still got some viscosity in it, so it'll be enough to crank it. Doesn't smell gassy. Could use about a quart of transmission fluid. But we'll get it running and we'll recheck it. Alright. We got oil, we got transmission fluid. We gotta fill up the coolant. We gotta grab a jug. And then we'll hook this electric fuel pump up and see if we can do some tuning on the carburetor and get this thing to cheech off. See if the AC might even kick on for us. With Florida heat, we definitely need that. That'll be a must on the to-do list if it's broken. So we got some 100% water here. We got some WD-40 to throw down the yap. Because it's been sitting so long, the extra lubrication will help her out a little bit. Maybe bring those rings back around if she smokes. Alright, She only took about half a jug. So after sitting for as long as she did, hopefully that's a leak somewhere up top, not up underneath it. We don't have to get too greasy today, but alright. Give her some throttle here. And WD down me up. And we'll hook up like the fuel pump here. I don't know if y'all can hear that running, but she is running. And it seems like it's... Yep, okay, there she just hit. She's primed. Man, is it hot today. The windows do not work. Did not check that before. About running lights and headlights. Running light, headlight. Alright. See if she'll cheat. Wow. She went. That is very surprising. No smoke. Fuel pump came off. Hook back up. And we'll wrap that around a couple times. And then stick her back into terminal. Let it come off again. See if we can let this thing run and idle. Does have headers and aluminum valve covers that might have a mild build to it. Rocker arms and everything, those look original. So if anything, it might have a mild cam in it. I don't expect too much. Alright. Get her off the old tripod. The coolant's already gone down quite a bit. Where we've got our leak here. Whatever's going on with that. Looks like it's been repaired once before. I'll have to run and get a new hose or a new housing. I know these chrome housings, they like to corrode. When the coolant sits in them. So we might be in a thermostat housing or a hose for that. Man. She is not running great, but she doesn't sound half bad. Not smoking, that's the big thing. All right. Oh, so we had some issues with the video there at the end. Smoking a little bit, but hopefully it was just the WD-40 that we ended up putting in there down the carburetor. So a couple things to note. I did not test the AC yet. I'm looking at it and it looks like some rigging has been done on that. Looks like we got a wire spliced. I don't know if that's 12 volt hot. Checking all the pulleys for heat. Alternator pulley is a little bit hot. Check the belt. It seems to have enough tension on it, so we might be in it an alternator as well. The bearings may be bad in that pulley. Doesn't have any blow-by, so I don't think it needed the WD-40 down the carb. Rings seem to be sealed up fine. Seems to be a healthy motor. I'll have to mess with the timing just a hair. And I know these Edelbrocks you can't really tune too much. The Hollies are more based around more finite tuning. These are kind of just whatever jets you got in there, you can do just a hair of tuning, but that's about it. Fuel pump was not pumping anything. I'll go ahead and check down low, pull that hose off, see if I can feel that diaphragm sucking at all. And then we'll crank her back up one more time. We'll check the transmission fluid. Didn't do that before I put her in drive and reverse. There's fluid in it, but I don't know if it's down a quart, up a quart, you know. It's good to check those things. And then there is 10 gauge wire running off of pink back here. So I believe at some point there's probably some issue with the distributor and they're running it 12 volt hot straight to the battery instead of off the ignition. Didn't have an issue with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that off as well. We'll get her cranked back up. I'll show y'all there's no blow by in her. We'll check the transmission fluid. We'll let her idle just a little bit. And then we'll get on to swapping the tires onto these front rims. And then after that, we'll jump on the brakes. Reservoir, haven't even popped that yet. Brakes aren't my least favorite thing to do. I'll go ahead and soak these down. But if I don't have to mess with it too much, I'm happy. All right, we'll come back here in a minute. All right, we'll kick her off again. Oh man, that timing. Timing sounds like it's spot on. I might not even have to mess with that distributor. So let's see, we've got AC on currently. Okay. We've got a blower fan. Only works on high. That's okay. Let's see if we can't kick that compressor clutch on. It's not currently kicking on. Let's hit this 12 volt to our 12 volt fuel pump. See if I can do this with one hand. Okay, so AC compressor's locked up. Kind of what I was expecting there. Absolutely no blow-by. After sitting for that long, that's absolutely crazy. And it looks fine. Transmission's about a quart low. So I'm gonna add fill on. So that's probably leaked out just a little bit, but that's good. That it's not half empty. Then we'd be looking at a pan gasket or a tail shaft seal, which with this being four-wheel drive, would not be the most fun thing to do pulling that transfer case. All right, I think we hit everything. We got the transmission checked. We'll fill that up. No blow by, oil's good. AC compressor is in fact locked up. He's starting to chug a little bit now. I don't know if maybe some of the plugs are bad. I mean, I haven't even begun to throw a tune-up in this thing. Also, that carburetor could be giving it a hair too much fuel. I'll mess with the idle a little bit before I shut her down. And then we'll start working on pulling these front tires off, working on the brakes, and then I think I'm gonna swap the fronts to the rear because these back tires are a lot worse than the front ones. I'd much rather have some good meats on the front when I test drive it, so that if any tire blows, it's gonna be one of the back two. So I still have good steering up front. All right, I had to go get a Gatorade, get hydrated. Man, is it hot here in Florida today. Oh, still got my fuel pump on over here. All right, we'll go ahead and grab the jack out of the old Duramax here. We'll get the front jacked up and on jack stands, and we'll pull these tires off. I'll probably time-lapse that, and also time-lapse pulling these tires off. It's been a minute since I've swapped some tires. We'll eventually get them balanced out. So yeah, let's jump into it.